Good morning. I am pleased to welcome you to this video. In the previous video, we analyzed the poem in general. Today, we will analyze the poem line by line. If the lesson is useful to you, you can subscribe the channel for more teaching videos. Let me read the poem first. An Irish Airman Foresees His Death by BUTLER YEATS. I know that I shall meet my fate somewhere among the clouds above. Those that I fight, I do not hate. Those that I guard, I do not love. My country is Hilton Cross. My countrymen, Hilton's poor. No likely end could bring them loss or leave them happier than before. No law, no duty bade me fight. No public men, no cheering crowds. A lonely impulse of delight drove to this tumult in the clouds. I balanced all, brought all to mind. The years to come seems waste of breath, a waste of breath, the years behind, in balance with this life, this death. We will analyze the poem line by line. First, we will look at the title. The title is An Irish Airman Foresees His Death. The title reveals, sounds a third-person point of view. Further, the title reveals the identity of the airman or nationality of the airman. From the title, we come to understand that the airman, the nationality of the airman is Irish. The airman foresees his death. The verb in the title indicates that the fighter pilots foresees, understands, predicts his death in advance. So the title shows what the subject of the poem is. We can move further. I know the poem has been written in the first person narration. When we study the history behind this poem, we can understand that the writer has written this poem in the memory of a soldier who died in World War I. So the speaker of this poem is a soldier, a fighter pilot, airman. The feelings, thoughts, and the emotions of a soul of the writer are revealed through the eyes of a soldier. The writer goes in the mind of a soldier and the writer looks at the world through the eyes of a soldier who is about to die in the war. So with this background information, you can, for more further information, you can watch my previous video on the same poem. I know the speaker foresees. The diction know stands indicates that the speaker knows about his debts. I know that I shall meet my fate, even though fate stands for a number of meanings. The fate stands for luck, correlates, connotations. It provides a number of meanings. Even though it provides a number of meanings, in this line, this particular diction stands for death. So therefore, we can read the speaker of this poem knows about his debts. The speaker knows that he will meet his debts somewhere among the clouds above. The second line of the poem shows that where he can die. The second line of the poem shows that somewhere among the clouds above. It shows that the speaker expects his death, foresees his death in the sky as an airman. The other lines are very important and critical. At the same time, they are paradoxical. You can see that to understand the third and the fourth lines, we should know the history of the country. When we study the history of the country, we understand that the speaker is from Ireland, and Ireland was under the control of Britain at that time. Under the control of Britain. Britain had Ireland under its control. Britain had Ireland under its control. So the speaker, the soldier in this poem, fought in the battlefield, specifically in World War I, on behalf of Britain. Ireland did not have any issues to fight in World War I with other countries. The speaker fought in the battlefield on behalf of Britain. So with that historical information, those that I fight, I do not hate. The speaker fight with the people with the other country, the soldiers from other country. The speaker reveals that even though he fights in the battlefield, he does not hate them. Another contradictory statement of the speaker is, those that I guard, I do not love. So even though the speaker fights on behalf of Britain, the speaker does not love them Because we understand that even though the third and the fourth line reveals the perceptions of the soldier, of course, it is not the individual experience of the people. It is the experiences and the perceptions of the Irish people at the time in terms of their involvement in World War I. It is irony that even though they do not have any direct involvement and purpose, they had to involve in the battlefield. The dictions, fights, and guard indicate that the speaker is a fighter pilot and he is in the battlefield in World War I. My country is Hilton Cross. My countrymen, Hilton's poor. We can see my countrymen are repeated in this poem. It emphasizes the importance given by the speaker towards his own people, a place in Ireland. The speaker identifies his background, which belongs to a region in Ireland. He does not identify himself with the soldiers of Britain. My countrymen Hilton's poor, the poverty and the sympathy of the speaker towards his countrymen are revealed in this poem. No likely end could bring them loss. Because of his involvement in the battlefield, even if he die, not actually, die, even if the loss in the battlefield will bring them loss, or if they win in the battlefield, they will not be happier than before. Those two lines indicates the irrelevant results of the battlefield to the speaker as well as to his countrymen. The end of the poem is not relevant, or the results of the poem is not relevant to the speaker and his countrymen, as it will give no impact in their life. No law, no duty bade me fight. In some countries, we can understand that there are laws. People have to do military service as a duty. Here we can understand the diction no indicates the denial of the speaker that why he came in the battlefield, why he came to the battlefield. He came to the battlefield not because of the law or not because of the duty. Even he came to the battlefield not because of the politicians. The diction public men indicates politicians. He came to the battlefield not because of the politicians. Or no cheering crowds. We can understand that there were no people to encourage him to go to the battlefield, fight in the battlefield. You can see The diction no repeats in a number of places in the poem, which emphasizes the denial of the speaker for the motivation and for why he came to the battlefield. It emphasizes that the factors, the important factors which were not subjects for him to come to the battlefield. He came to the battlefield a lonely impulse of delight. He came to the battlefield not because of the law, not because of duty, not because of public men or cheering crowds, but lonely impulse of delights. Because of his wish, he has come. This line, we can have the meaning of this line as his experimental nature to involve in the battlefield. On the other hand, the history of the country shows that he had no choice of doing so. Draw to this tumult in the clouds. I balanced all. The diction balance shows, you can see here and here, the diction has been used 2 times. The balance indicates his recalling. He recalls all of his memories and bring all the memories to his mind. Accordingly, the diction years to come shows the future life. His future life seems to be waste. The diction years behind stand for the past life. His past also was a waste because of the imperialistic rules of Britain, because of the slavery life and oppressive rules of Britain. There was no political freedom. So the speaker evaluates his life. According to his evaluation, the future also is a waste, as he spent his past in a wasted time. He balanced, so his past also waste. When he carefully think, his future also will be a waste under the rule of Britain. To balance this life, he wants to balance this life. He wants to find a meaning in his life. So to balance his life, to find a meaning to his life, he selects this death. He dies to find a meaning to his life, as the past and the future seems to be waste for the speaker. Hope you understood the poem. We will read the poem once more. An Irish Airman Foresees His Death by BUTLER YEATS. I know that I shall meet my fate somewhere among the clouds above. Those that I fight, I do not hate. Those that I guard, I do not love. My country is Hiltathan Cross. My countrymen Hiltathan's poor. No likely end could bring them loss. or leave them happier than before. No law, no duty bade me fights, no public men, no cheering crowds. A lonely impulse of delights brought these tumults in the clouds. I balanced all, brought all to mind. The years to come seems waste of breath, a waste of breath, the years behind, in balance with this life, this death. I came to the end of my presentation. As it is the second video of my explanation of the poem, An Irish Airman Foresees His Death. For further information, please watch my first video and collect the points and prepare for the examination. If my lessons are useful to you, you can subscribe the channel for more teaching videos. Thank you.